You simply need to remember, my gorgeous Aries, that this September is going to be way more important than you could possibly imagine. You are about to make a really important decision, but the tricky situation around that decision is going to be that it's not going to even seem as important as it's actually going to be. You know, and in particular when it comes to the actual first 5 days in September, this is all about a decision that you're going to need to make, but also at the same time there is a lot going to be going on around you that is going to be draining your energy in so many different ways. But the bottom line is that it's going to affect your way of thinking, it's going to affect your way of planning. So that's why you need to remember that you most simply need to follow your intuition and stand your ground really firmly. Now it's more significant time than ever, because that in itself is going to lead towards an important reward, which is most certainly going to happen within the last 7 days of September 2021. My name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Erini, and it's for September 2021. So this monthly horoscope tarot card focus is for you, my gorgeous Erini, and it's for September 2021. Now this September is going to bring you an ever important and ever changing cycle into your life. What I want you to understand, what I need you to understand, is specifically the first few days of September are going to be absolutely everything. Not only that you need to pay attention to the actual voice within, because something is persistently going to be on your mind. And what is going to be on your mind within the first few days of September, it's also going to have a direct correlation with your past. And that in itself is going to make you feel a rather nostalgic. But it's not about nostalgia, it's not about that, it's about the specific part of your past that you are going to be very much so drawn to. That in itself, it's very simply and beautifully going to answer the question, what exactly is missing in your life? You need to return to something, you know. And this is important because along the way, especially over the last 36 months, you have kind of like started to lose yourself. And this is nothing to like kind of criticize you or anything like that, but it's purely because so much was happening over the last 36 months that it had a certain effect on you. And this in itself is going to be a brilliant moment, because it's going to kind of shake things really nicely up for you. And once things are shaked up, this is the actual moment that is going to be absolutely yours. It's all about a certain judgment, but I'm talking about a spiritual judgment. I'm talking about you judging situation and responding in your own unique way. And that in itself is going to be very significant time, because also you will know that you are going to be challenged. You know, around it, you are going to have a certain person or a certain group of people that are going to challenge you, your way of thinking, your decision that you've made. But then that again, it's going to be yet again one more sign that you just firmly need to remember to keep your feet on the ground. This is the time of testing, but it's also the time of you coming out of yourself, and it's also the time when you follow your own inner light. Now it's more important than ever. What I would like to say to you, when you find yourself in a challenging situation, in particular when it's somebody challenging you within the first few days of September, you need to understand that this is actually going to be very beneficial for you. But at the same time, you just stick to your guns. You know, at the same time, you just stick to your way of thinking. At the same time, you need to pay attention to your intuition more than ever, because that in itself is going to be very beneficial. So when you're challenged, just remember to rise above the situation, rise above it. And it's just like you're going to find yourself in a quite sensitive energy, sensitive situation that is just going to make everything look like kind of more significant or more dark for you. But just remember that this is all illusion. Okay, just remember that you have got an absolutely irresistible power within you. You are the universe. You have got the power. And once you set, your record straight, you just keep going and try to kind of like stay committed to yourself, committed to your task at hand, because this is all going to be the part of the challenge that you need to understand. And the outcome of this first few days of September, it's actually going to be on the 7th of September. The 7th of September is going to be really important purely because your way of thinking is going to change. And this in itself, and this is going to be really good. This is going to be good change. This is going to be positive change. And it's going to be the direct outcome of what I have said so far. Not only you are going to become of the kind of aware of the success that it's kind of illusionary. And this is great because this is the sign that karmically the certain cycle is going to come to an end, and you're simply going to feel drawn towards the new stage, new path in your life, which is going to start unfolding itself beautifully, nicely on the 7th of September and onwards. And this is all about you. This is all about your uniqueness. This is all about you taking something very specific about your life on the whole next level. And this is going to be really, really exciting. I mean, I don't even know how to explain how exciting this is actually going to be, because my Lord, this is pretty much so to do with your spirituality, with your spiritual path. We are all here on this earth for a certain amount of time, and we have to fulfill our mission. But if we are constantly being drawn from this side to that side, to this way, to that way, purely because sometimes there are lots of people with a kind of a very strong energy around us, and that can drain us in such a way where we can find ourselves floating, in between, instead of just going forward. So this is an important time of readjustment and adjustment, where exactly you're going to realize what slowly came to an end, but most certainly what is also coming out of you, what was missing in your life, what do you need in your life, what do you need to bring in your life. It's all going to make sense, because this, my babies, is going to lead towards your own moment where you will start feeling like you want to express yourself in a certain way. It's about your, remember what I said, it's about the spiritual journey, it's about your own essence. The bottom line is that you are going to have the moment where you're going to realize exactly what do you need to do, what do you need to follow, something within you will need to take on the next level. So for those of you who are working and focusing on your work and career, just pay attention. This is going to be really important, because it's going to be obvious what exactly is missing, what came to an end and what came to the beginning. And for those of what is having a new beginning, and for those of you who are looking for work, this is going to be like a big mama moment, because something is simply going to start wanting, something will simply want to start come out of you, the certain essence, not that you have been necessarily ignoring, but now it's time to take this forward, to take it on the next level. And just remember that particular voice within that I mentioned in the first place. This is very important, because at the same time it's going to start creating path towards the actual eternal success. It's a very important part of you, and it's most certainly going to come in the form of an inspiration. Pay attention to what is going to inspire you within the first 7 days of September, but the 7th day is going to be like a big mama moment, because that number is very strong when it comes to spirituality. So pay attention to the little signs from the universe, pay attention to the actual signs, pay attention to the numbers like 77 or 777, because every single time you see this, my gorgeous Aries, throughout this month, because this is a very strong connection with that number that you are going to have this month. Every single time you see this number, you will know that exactly about 7 minutes later, something is going to come to you, the certain inspiration that you simply must not ignore. And there is always going to be something like, oh, I'm not too sure, just ignore that feeling, because you're very powerful when it comes to your manifestation. So you don't want to block yourself. You just remember that this is the time to simply go forward. No matter how crazy it seems to be, how crazy things like seem to be like around you and things like that. This is most certainly the time to go forward. And just remember this, every single time you see 77 or 777, also pay attention to what was on your mind. Pay attention to what is like driving you crazy. Pay attention to like what is like bringing you down, what is making you negative, because that in itself is going to be connected to the actual direct answer not that long after. Or the spirituality and the spirit world wants you to pay attention to it, because there is something very important for you to unfold then and there. Very significant time indeed. 7th of September, it's going to look, this is so important, Aries, my gorgeous Aries. 7th of September, it's going to bring you an inspiration. It's going to bring you an opportunity. It's going to show you the next step. It's going to show you the next unfoldment. It's going to show you the next perspective in your life that you simply need to pay attention to, because most certainly this is also going to redirect you slightly, and you're also going to become aware of the actual sacrifice that you are going to need to make. The sacrifice that you are going to need to make is connected to the change in your life, but then again, you need to do this because this is all part of your spiritual progress. This is nothing unusual when it comes to the actual 9th month of the year, when it comes to the September, because it's a very powerful when it comes to intuition, when it comes to our third psychic eye, when it comes to us feeling things but not being able to quite explain them. Just pay attention to it because it's going to be important. The bottom line is what I want to say. The 7th of September is just going to bring you that inspiration. Please, you need to kind of open your eyes as much as you can. You need to kind of like don't ignore things that you feel connected to, because there is some kind of path that is also going to unfold, that is going to require from you to make the necessary next step forward in a form of exploration. And yet again, I want to remind you to not to fear of anything, not to be scared of anything. Just remember that you've got a miraculous power within. The second date that I was going to talk to you about, my gorgeous Aries, is going to be 11th, 12th, and the 13th of September 2021. 11th, 12th, and the 13th of September 2021. You will know exactly what do you need to do. You will know exactly what you need to do, but also it's going to be very interesting the way things are going to happen through somebody who is so important to you, somebody who is so significant in your life. They are going to say something quite they're going to tell you and give you the certain information about yourself. And first of all, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? And then as the time goes by, this is going to make sense, more sense and more sense and more sense. In fact, they are going to be your guiding light. They are going to be your guiding spirit. Somebody very important in your life. Somebody who's very significant to you. Somebody who means to you so much. Whether this is going to be like a best friend, whether this is going to be like a family member, it doesn't matter. That particular person within these 3 days is going to be like playing a big mama important role in your life, because you're going to be finally like, oh my God. First of all, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? And then as the time goes by, this is going to make more sense and more sense and more sense. And by the time you get to the actual last day of September, you're going to find yourself on like a huge, massive crossroads. And this in itself, it's all going to make sense to you, because at the same time, you're going to have such an important and powerful spiritual experience prior the actual September the 30th. And this is why this is all going to make sense, and it's going to become absolutely obvious to you how everything is spiritually connected, and most importantly, how much sense this is going to mean to you, how much sense this is going to make, you know, to you in particular when it comes to the next step. You know, October, the end of October, it's going to have a superb connection, very powerful connection with everything that is going on right now. And that in itself, it's also going to show you the certain, it's going to prove something to you, the certain power, the certain strength and confidence that you get only when you focus on things that make sense to you and ignore the negativity and just keep going forward. Now it's more important than ever. What else I was going to say in between the 11th, 12th and the 13th of September, my gorgeous Aries, you know, it is just like very powerful connection in between you and somebody else is going to mean to you so much. And that in itself is going to open your eyes, and it's going to remind you how important it is, how people in our lives are so important. Someone is going to need a little bit of advice, you know, somebody is going to need your help, somebody is going to need a little bit of your guidance. Please try to see who this is, because somebody is kind of being misguided quite a lot, and it needs yet again a little bit of your energy, because you are having that healing power, and most certainly you know the very important answer to the question that they have. They will not like the answer, but then again, it's important for them to have that shaky moment, which is most certainly going to work really well for them, because it's going to redirect them towards the right path where they should be. On another hand, 11th, 12th and the 13th, I know that this is important these days that I'm keep on mentioning, but this is nothing unusual. Now yet again, look at this. The first day that was important was number 7, and it's all about the spirituality, connection with the angels, connection with the spirit guides. Oh, there is so much going on around us. If people would just open their eyes properly, they would just see so much, and this is what I'm talking about. And now we have 11th, 12th and the actual 13th of the September 2021, which days are so remarkably important. You know, 11th is just showing the fact that, you know, you are stepping into an unknown situation, but at the same time it is just gonna lead towards an eternal success. Don't be worried, don't be scared. It is all about an opportunity, an option that is going to become available to you, but then again, it's just gonna bring you so much happiness. You know, it's pretty much so to do with the financial security and feeling very kind of like happy with yourself when it comes to finances, and having like a really great outcome, which is just going to make you feel like a really secure in the future. But then again, that will reflect on so many other things. Most certainly it's to do with feeling confident, and that in itself, it's yet again going to help you to spread your wings and just fly and see things at the same time for what they are. You will want to make a change. It's important to pay attention to the change that you will feel. It's important to pay attention within this day, 11th, 12th and the 13th, what is bringing you down, what is making you negative, what is slowing you down. That in itself, it's something that you need to pay attention to, because it's really sticking out so strongly and so badly, and it's slowing you down. And I can see that you're gonna get it just right, my gorgeous Aries. Indeed, I can see that you're getting just right, and most certainly something is going to take an additional 6 months. It's to do with an adjustment, it's to do with you leaving, it's to do with you changing things, but also at the same time realizing that this is going to take an additional 6 months. So when it comes to 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So when it comes to March 2022, this is going to be like a big mama moment when it comes to the actual outcome, the huge realization, and going on the next step. You will see the very strong and powerful correlation with everything that was happening in September, and you will realize, why was I saying so many times that this is such a spiritual month? Very important indeed. So you are going to make a decision to move on, but you will know at the same time that it's one step at a time, my babies, and things are going to happen. There is no need to rush sometimes, because rushing can actually kind of make us to skip things that are important, and then at a certain point, certain moment in time, karmically, we will need to go back and work on them again. So that's why it's important to take every step at a time, and if the timing puts you off, then just ignore it. This is a significant moment in time indeed. And also in between the 11th of September and the end of that month, there is a really amazing hermit moment that you are going to have. You know that the hermit moment is like when you're in touch with yourself, with your spirituality. You understand things that you don't normally understand. You need to be kind of pulled down. You need to be kind of pulled back within yourself, in yourself. And this is when your power is. This is when we realize so much way beyond, you know. And it is going to be the moment that you're going to have. It's going to last about 2 days. This hermit moment that you're going to have in between the 11th and the end of September. And that hermit moment is actually going to really kind of like it's going to pull you down quite a lot. You're going to feel like, oh God, you're going to feel very heavy energy. You're going to feel like a little bit negative. You're going to feel like a little bit uncertain, but this is exactly what it needs to happen. The more negative you feel, the more uncertain you feel, the more bad you feel, the more success and brilliant outcome you're actually going to to have not that long after that, because it's a bit of a yin-yang moment that you are going to have as well. Just remember, the more low you feel, the more negative you feel, the more dark you feel, the more happy and excited you are going to be later on. The more negative you feel, the more dark you feel, the more low you feel, the more you are going to find out about yourself, the more you're going to realize about yourself. And this is exactly what is going to happen within this hermit moment that I'm talking about. Huge, massive, absolutely remarkable realization. Something is going to come to the surface, something is going to be highlighted for you, something is going to be illuminated for you. And once this is illuminated for you, you will see exactly what you need to pay attention to, because the whole new path is going to be unfolded right in front of you. Very, very sacred indeed. And yet again, it's going to open your eyes. Yet again, it's going to confirm things to you when you just feel, oh my God, very low and negative about a certain stage and part of your life. This hermit moment is going to remind you exactly which direction you need to go to. But in order to get where you need to get, you just need to remember to stay committed to the task at hand, because you're going to have a moment where you're going to feel like, oh God, I had enough, you know, type of thing. And this is what the hermit moment is actually going to remind you of. It's going to bring you such an important moment of shaky, timey, but at exactly the right moment in time, you're going to be reminded to actually just stay committed to the certain task at hand that you thought that slowly came to an end. And this is very important, because this is your hermit moment. This is your guiding light. This is going to really make you realize things, but also at the same time, it's going to help you realize the importance of people in your life. Yet again, this hermit moment is going to open your eyes, and it's going to help you to realize how important people are in your life. Whoever come to you that it's in your life should actually, you should kind of like make a connection and reconnection with them. But at the same time, you know, when it comes to the actual one particular person, there is a one particular person that is going to keep on coming to you, maybe someone who you haven't seen in a long time, and now it's time for you to reunite. Maybe the long time, it could be even months or two, it really depends. Maybe the long time is like a 1 year, but however, somebody is going to come to you, and it's important because at the same time, they will have a very powerful message for you when it comes to you kind of paying attention to the certain prospects in your life that you would normally ignore, because way beyond these prospects there is something very powerful for you going to be waiting there. And it's gonna come from this person who is really kind of more spiritually connected to you that you can possibly imagine. Okay, so the third day that I would like you to pay attention to, my gorgeous Aries, it's going to be the very last day of September. Now the very last day of September, you're just gonna kind of like have a very significant message. You're gonna have a direct message from someone, whether this is going to be like a text message, whether this is going to be like a message, like an email, whether somebody is going to call you, but they will give you the certain message, and through that message, some kind of idea is going to come to you. And that idea is something that you need to pay attention to, because that is most certainly going to change your life. It is going to reveal exactly what's missing in your life, and it's also going to reveal the certain part of the progress that you have made not that long ago, but for some reason you kind of left it in the past. So now it's for you to kind of take it over and take it on the next level. Do not wait for kind of like someone else to give you the certain advice, you know, because it's pretty much so with us getting confused in our lives, with certain people in our lives who are kind of confusing things because they find us vulnerable in a vulnerable situation, in vulnerable energy, and then that energy can work against us because it can make us feel really uncertain. You always need to follow your gut. You always need to follow your intuition, and you need to become strong. This is the moment, this is the time when you're going to become very, very strong indeed. And that later on is going to reward you like so much, okay? And on another hand, you know, it is just like a basically the certain financial, you know, I can see that you're going to worry about a certain financial situation, that the certain financial worries that you're going to have, and this is slowly, you know, you're going to have a really good news about it. Not like that they're going to come to an end. I'm not saying that you're having financial problems. I'm not saying that you're having financial worries, but if you do have a financial worries, this is connected to this. If you wanted to buy something or get something, or if you wanted to do something big and your finances were preventing you, this is also connected to this, because you are going to have a very important news, a very good news when it comes to the finances in general, but it's all not going to be finalized. But finally you are going to get this good news where you're going to see a nice little swift change connected to the message, and you will see that the things are beautifully moving forward. This is very important because, you know, what you were patient about, you are going to be rewarded. This is a very great sign that you are going to have, my gorgeous Aries, and the sign is connected that your patience, it's about to be rewarded. And before that happens, we always test it in a certain way, like, oh no, I had enough. And then when you feel like a little bit stroppy or nervous, you will know that the time is coming up, and it's most certainly going to have a spiritual flip-flop moment, which is now most certainly more important than ever. When it comes to the actual couples, I mean, this is brilliant, my gorgeous Aries, when it comes to the actual couples, because you know what, you're actually going to have a very powerful time. For those of you couples, you know, I can see that there was a lot of waiting. You have been waiting for something, and that what you have been waiting for, it's an important factor in your life, because it will help you both to move on with your life. Very important information you are going to get hold of when it comes to the couples, and that in itself is just the beginning of a very powerful and important change. You know, this is going to be such an emotional month for the couples, and it's absolutely brilliant, and an opportunity that you are going to have before the end of the month. Pay attention to the opportunity which is going to become obvious within the last 7 days for the couples. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, and emotionally it's going to be such an important time for both of you. This is going to directly reflect on both of you, and it's going to inspire you, and that in itself is going to show you the way when it comes to the actual new perspective coming into your life. This is very important indeed. When it comes to those of you that are single and ready to mingy, my gorgeous Aries, I can see that somebody very interesting is about to walk into your life. But the way this is going to happen, my gorgeous Aries, is going to be very strange and very bizarre. You know why? For once, it's going to happen when you least expect it. For two, you are going to be challenged. You know, almost somebody's like kind of challenge you. Somebody's going to kind of be naughty around you, but the challenge you in a way like they may be rude to you, and you're going to be like, maybe you will go to the shop and somebody's going to be rude to you. You know, it's going to be really bizarre. You know, it's not going to be like too deeply connected with anything to do with your life, but it's really going to surprise you. But this is a really great sign for you, because when that happens, when somebody's like a little bit rude to you just out of the blue, you will know that not that long after that there is some kind of opportunity that is going to become obvious to you, and that opportunity that is going to become obvious to you is just going to, for one hand, it's going to be important because it's going to lead towards a natural success, something that you're going to naturally feel that you need to do. Important. But most importantly, that path you're going to directly be sharing with somebody very significant who is about to walk into your life. Somebody very special, very unique, very different, and very successful indeed. On another hand, I was going to suggest you to get something like this gorgeous, like a chakra pendant, absolutely beautiful and very powerful pendant indeed. This comes with the chakra crystals, of course, and it comes with a gorgeous, like a silver, sterling silver, setting, and a sterling silver chain, but also it has got an amazing impact on us when it comes to our energy. It is going to help you to feel grounded in between the September and December 2021 and later on, of course. But most certainly, on one hand, it's going to help you to be grounded, but on another hand, this is going to reflect on your way of thinking, and it's going to reflect on your intuition. It's going to reflect on your third psychic eye. It's going to reflect on your power. And on one hand, you will be on top of the things, but on another hand, you will know exactly which inspiration to follow through. But it's brilliant when you feel low and negative. You know, it's fantastic because it helps you to be on top of things. This gorgeous chakra pendant comes with a sterling silver setting, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel, my gorgeous Aries, as well. And what else I was going to say to you, now it's more important than ever to pay attention to the actual your immune system when it comes to the actual your health. So try to make sure that you're taking something like organic camu camu capsules or organic camu camu powder, which is a natural source of vitamin C, one of the highest sources of vitamin C in the world, and it's natural. And also make sure that you're taking natural vitamin D. Even if you are exposing yourself in the sun, I still think that you should be taking natural vitamin D alongside natural zinc. This combination is an amazing big mama combination, and is going to help you to boost your immune system. And also try to drink organic chamomile tea or organic dandelion tea. This is going to be remarkable for your digestion, but it's also going to be remarkable when it comes to flushing out the toxins out of the system. If you do drink these teas, try to drink them without any sugar, because I can't stand sugar, it's really bad for you. But if you do need a sweetener, then you just need something like organic honey or organic maple syrup, for example, and this is also going to be quite good for you, and it's going to give you energy. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor, you just need to check with your GP whether this can interact with your existing medication. Very important for me to say. My gorgeous Erinis, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. So I'm sending you brightest blessings sorry, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye. Mwah.